Right, cumulative frequencies. So we've got here, the table gives a grouped frequency distribution for the heights of 120 teenagers, each measured correct to the nearest centimetre. Okay, so it says grouped frequency distribution. They're grouped because they are being put into different groups here, depending on their height. So everyone between 158 and 162 centimetres, if you're in that range of height there, then you would go into this section. So there are 6 teenagers, it says. Okay, remember now, frequency just means how many. So you've got 6 teenagers who are within this range of heights here, and then so on. You've got 16 teenagers who are within that range of heights, and so on. So part A then, it says complete the following cumulative frequency table. Height and then cumulative frequency. So you see here now, it says here H is less than 157.5. Okay, now you might be wondering where that number comes from, but if you look closely here, this is the height measured, okay, height H to the nearest centimetre. So if you think about it, if it's the nearest centimetre, you could have someone who is 157.5 centimetres, and then that would round to 158, if that makes sense, right? So that actually, that group there, that class would include everyone from 157.5 all the way up to 162.5, okay? So in that category then, you would fall if you're in those range of values. So when it says here now, if we look at here, height less than, okay, that means less than 157.5. Well, if you think about it, there's 0, isn't there? In terms of the frequency, there's nobody who's less than 157.5, okay? Because the first group we've got here is above 157.5. And then, it says then, height less than 162.5. So that would be those 6, wouldn't it? You've got 6 in that group, okay? And as I said, it goes up to 162.5, okay? Or you know, it's going to be less than it, but we include that as our boundary, yeah? As our boundary, so that anyone less than this would be in that group there. Now, you see this word cumulative. Now, cumulative means that you add the frequencies as you go along, okay? It's kind of like a running total, right? So what I mean by that is, when we go to the next block here, okay, height now is less than 167.5. Now, that height there, if you notice, you've just got to be shorter than 167.5. That will now include not just these 16 people here, but also those 6 people there. Okay, so you're adding up the frequencies as you go along. So I should put 22 here, okay? Because if you just think about it, if you're shorter than this height, then you're included in this group. So that will not only just account for them, it will also account for these, because these are also shorter, 167.5. So remember, cumulative is a running total, right? It's increasing all the time. You keep on adding the frequencies. So for the next one, less than 172.5, well, you've got 40 in this group, okay, which would satisfy, but you also got to include the ones before. So in a sense, we've got to add 40 to the 22, and we get 62. Less than 157.5, well, you've got 50 there, okay, in this new recent group, and then of course the ones that are less than that, 62. So you add it to that, you get 112, and then of course less than 182.5, you'd include now this last group, 8 added then onto everyone else, because everyone is less than 182.5. So if you add 8 onto that, you get 120. And look at the top, 120 teenagers. Okay, so that's what you should get to. You should get to the number that they give up here. All right, the cumulative frequency then is a running total of the frequency. Okay, it keeps increasing. Now part B says, explain why the bounds for the groups in the cumulative frequency table are not whole numbers. Well, we have kind of discussed that already, haven't we? We've discussed it. We've said basically that because heights are measured to the nearest centimetre, okay, heights are measured to the nearest centimetre, 158 to 162 would include, wouldn't it, 162.5, and it would include 157.5. So this would include, so you could actually write it like this. You could say it's less than 162.5, okay, or greater than 157.5, okay. And really, I've given my reason here, nearest centimetre. Okay, so part C then, it says, on the graph paper below, draw a cumulative frequency diagram to show this information. Now, when you draw a cumulative frequency diagram, you need to use a ruler, okay? And because the total is increasing all the time, your line is sort of going to be, you're going to have different lines joined together, but it's going to be increasing. So if you look here, less than 157.5, you've got 0, okay? So we've got to go to 157.5, which is down here. Now that's going to be here, isn't it? It's going to be in the middle. Yeah, that's where 157.5 is, in the middle there, okay? And you've got 0, there's none there. Okay, so I'll put a point there. So go back then to the table. Okay, so we've got 162.5, the next one, and there's 6 of them. So we go 162.5, which is here, okay, and we've got 6 of them. So I got up to 6, which is here, okay. The next one then, I've got 167.5, there's 22. So 167.5 is here, 22 would take me to here. 172.5 then is the next one, and I've got 62 of them. So 172.5, 62, which is here. And then 177.5, there's 112 of them. So 177.5 is here, and 112, which is 110, so 112 is going to be there. And then 182.5, there's 120 of them. So 182.5 is here in the middle, and there's 120 of them. So you notice then my points. All I need to do then is to join them up, okay? And if I join them up, I will then get what is called a cumulative frequency curve, okay? Excellent, and there is my cumulative frequency curve. Cumulative frequency curves will always look like that, okay? And we call them curves, but you do draw them with straight lines. That's really important, okay?